Introduction to the course. Welcome to Basketball, a dynamic journey from invention to global phenomenon. In this course, we will embark on an exciting exploration of basketball, a sport that has not only transformed the realm of athletics, but has also become a significant cultural force around the globe. Our journey will take us from the sport's humble beginnings to its current status as a global spectacle, revealing the many facets that make basketball a unique and fascinating subject. Basketball, as we know it today, is a product of both innovation and evolution. The game was invented in 1891 by Dr. James Naismith, a physical education instructor who was tasked with creating an indoor activity to keep his students engaged during the harsh winter months in Springfield, Massachusetts. What started as a simple game with a soccer ball and two peach baskets has since grown into one of the most popular and widely recognized sports worldwide. This course aims to provide a comprehensive understanding of this remarkable journey, highlighting key moments, influential figures, and transformative changes that have shaped the game. Our exploration will begin with a detailed look at the origins of basketball, focusing on the initial creation of the game and its early development. We will delve into the context in which Naismith developed basketball, examining his motivations, the challenges he faced, and the fundamental principles he established. This foundational understanding will set the stage for appreciating how the game evolved from its rudimentary beginnings to a fully fledged sport with a rich history. We will then trace the early evolution of basketball, examining how the game's rules and structure were refined over time. From the addition of the backboard to the introduction of more formalized regulations, these changes played a crucial role in enhancing the gameplay and ensuring its growing popularity. We will explore how these innovations impacted the way basketball is played and perceived, providing insight into the sport's developmental milestones. As basketball gained traction, it became necessary to establish a standardized set of rules to manage the growing number of teams and leagues. This led to significant changes, including the implementation of the shot clock, the three-point line, and various fouling regulations. These modifications have not only influenced the pace and style of play, but have also contributed to the sport's excitement and appeal. Understanding these rule changes will help us appreciate the dynamic nature of basketball and how it continues to evolve. Our journey will also take us beyond the borders of the United States, where basketball's international expansion played a pivotal role in its development. We will examine how the sport spread across the globe, from early introductions in various countries to the establishment of international competitions and leagues. The impact of global players and the integration of basketball into different cultures will be key areas of focus, illustrating how the sport has become a truly global phenomenon. In addition to exploring basketball's history and growth, we will also delve into its cultural impact. Basketball has significantly influenced popular culture, including fashion, music, and media. We will analyze how the sport has shaped and been shaped by cultural trends, and how it has contributed to social change and community development. Finally, we will reflect on the modern game, considering how advances in technology, training methods, and playing styles have transformed basketball. We will explore current trends and future prospects, providing a forward-looking perspective on the sport's ongoing evolution. By the end of this course, you will have a deep understanding of basketball's journey from its inception to its current status as a global sport. You will gain insights into the game's history, its impact on culture, and the factors that continue to shape its future. So, get ready to dive into the dynamic world of basketball, where history, innovation, and passion converge to create a sport like no other. The birth of basketball. In the winter of 1891, a seemingly ordinary challenge sparked an extraordinary innovation that would go on to captivate the world. Dr. James Naismith, a Canadian physical education instructor at the International YMCA Training School in Springfield, Massachusetts, was faced with a task that would forever change the landscape of sports. The institution's gymnasium was often left idle during the harsh New England winters, and Naismith was asked to devise an indoor game to keep his students active and engaged during this time. The challenge was to create a game that could be played indoors, required minimal equipment, and promoted physical activity while remaining engaging. Drawing inspiration from various existing games, including soccer, rugby, and even the traditional children's games of his time, Naismith set out to create a new sport that combined elements of strategy, skill, and teamwork. Naismith's first decision was to use a soccer ball as the central piece of the game. He then needed a way to score points, which led him to the idea of using peach baskets, an item readily available at the time. These baskets were hung at each end of the gymnasium, and the objective was to throw the soccer ball into the opposing team's basket to score points. The simplicity of the initial concept laid the foundation for what would become the game of basketball. The first official game of basketball was played on December 21st, 1891. The rules were minimal and straightforward, reflecting the experimental nature of the game. There were no dribbling or offensive plays as we know them today. Instead, players were required to pass the ball to their teammates to advance it. Physical contact was limited, and the game's primary focus was on teamwork and strategy rather than individual skill. One of the most notable aspects of this first game was the use of the peach baskets as goals. Each basket was mounted at a height of 10 feet, and players had to throw the soccer ball into the basket to score. The game was played with 9 players on each side, a number that would later be adjusted to accommodate the evolving needs of the sport. Interestingly, the original baskets still had their bottoms, meaning that players had to retrieve the ball manually each time a point was scored, adding an element of physical exertion and inconvenience that would eventually be addressed by removing the bottoms of the baskets. The early reception of basketball was mixed. The game quickly caught the attention of students and faculty at the YMCA, who appreciated its energetic nature and strategic elements. The sport's popularity began to spread within the YMCA network, leading to its adoption by other institutions and eventually to the broader public. This initial success was bolstered by the game's suitability for indoor play, which made it particularly appealing during the winter months when outdoor sports were less feasible. As basketball's popularity grew, so did the need for formalization. Naismith's original rules were adapted and expanded to accommodate a growing number of players and teams. The introduction of key elements, such as dribbling and the concept of fouls, began to shape the game into a more structured and competitive sport. This process of refinement and adaptation laid the groundwork for the development of modern basketball as future innovators and players continued to build upon Naismith's original ideas. The birth of basketball is a testament to human ingenuity and adaptability. What began as a simple indoor game with a soccer ball and peach baskets has evolved into a complex and dynamic sport enjoyed by millions around the world. Understanding this origin story provides valuable insight into the foundational principles of basketball and highlights the enduring legacy of Dr. James Naismith's innovative spirit. In the following sections, we will delve deeper into the early evolution of basketball, exploring how the game's rules and structure were refined over time. We will also examine the broader impact of basketball's development, including its expansion beyond the YMCA and its eventual rise to global prominence. This historical perspective will offer a rich context for appreciating the game's current form and its continued influence on sports and culture. The first game and early developments. The first official game of basketball, played on December 21st, 1891, was a modest yet pivotal event that marked the inception of a sport that would eventually captivate audiences worldwide. Dr. James Naismith's innovative creation, born out of necessity and experimentation, took shape on this brisk winter day in Springfield, Massachusetts. This initial game, while simple by today's standards, laid the groundwork for what would become one of the most popular sports in the world. The inaugural game was played with 9 players on each team, a number that would later be adjusted. The gymnasium at the International YMCA Training School, where the game was first played, was relatively small, adding an intimate and somewhat chaotic atmosphere to the proceedings. The objective was clear. Players had to throw a soccer ball into one of the 2 peach baskets mounted at each end of the gymnasium to score points. With no backboards or modern amenities, scoring required precision and skill. The rules for this first game were minimal and primarily focused on maintaining the flow of play and encouraging teamwork. The absence of dribbling, a concept that would be introduced later, meant that players had to pass the ball to advance it down the court. The game's emphasis on passing and teamwork was evident as players maneuvered to find open teammates and create scoring opportunities. Physical contact was limited, and the game structure aimed to promote agility and strategic thinking rather than brute strength. One notable feature of the first game was the use of peach baskets as goals. Each basket was placed 10 feet above the ground, a height that has remained standard in basketball ever since. However, the baskets still had their bottoms, which meant that every time a point was scored, someone had to climb a ladder to retrieve the ball. This logistical challenge added an extra layer of complexity to the game, highlighting the rudimentary nature of its early days. Despite the simplicity of its initial setup, the first game of basketball demonstrated the sport's potential. The players quickly grasped the basic principles, and the excitement of scoring points and outmaneuvering opponents created a sense of engagement and enjoyment. The game's ability to combine physical activity with strategic depth made it an appealing option for students looking for an alternative to more traditional sports. In the weeks and months following the inaugural game, basketball began to gain traction within the YMCA network. Its popularity spread rapidly as students and faculty alike appreciated the game's dynamic and inclusive nature. The early adoption of basketball by various YMCA branches contributed to its growth, and the sport began to attract attention beyond its initial setting. One of the early challenges faced by basketball was the need for formalized rules and regulations. The initial rules, created by Naismith, were relatively basic and designed to keep the game simple and accessible. However, as the sport gained popularity, it became clear that a more structured set of rules was necessary to manage the growing number of players and teams. This led to the development of new rules and refinements, including the introduction of dribbling, which would become a fundamental aspect of the game. The evolution of basketball from its first game to a more organized sport was a gradual process. Early modifications to the rules and gameplay reflected the sport's adaptation to different settings and the needs of its players. The introduction of key elements, such as the backboard and the establishment of formalized leagues, helped to shape basketball into a more structured and competitive sport. The early days of basketball were marked by experimentation and innovation. The initial game, with its simple setup and basic rules, was just the beginning of a journey that would see the sport evolve into a global phenomenon. Understanding these early developments provides valuable insight into the origins of basketball and the foundational principles that continue to influence the game today. In the next sections, we will explore how basketball's early evolution led to the establishment of standardized rules and the sport's expansion beyond its initial setting. This examination will offer a deeper understanding of the factors that contributed to basketball's growth and its eventual rise to prominence on the global stage. Early evolution and innovations. The initial game of basketball, while groundbreaking, was only the beginning of a much larger evolution. As the sport gained popularity, numerous innovations and refinements began to shape basketball into the dynamic and structured game we recognize today. The early developments of basketball were crucial in transitioning from a simple indoor activity to a competitive sport with formalized rules and strategies. One of the earliest significant innovations in basketball was the introduction of the backboard. Originally, the game was played with peach baskets mounted on the wall, which had their bottoms intact. This setup posed a challenge. When a ball was thrown into the basket, it often got stuck or required someone to climb a ladder to retrieve it. In 1893, a crucial change was made. The bottom of the baskets was removed, making it easier to retrieve the ball and keeping the game flowing more smoothly. The addition of the backboard was a game changer. It was first used in 1904 and was initially a practical solution to prevent spectators from interfering with the game, as they were often close to the court. However, it soon became an integral part of the game. The backboard allowed players to make shots from various angles, leading to the development of new offensive strategies. It also introduced the concept of rebounding, where players could use the backboard to their advantage to regain possession of the ball. Another significant development was the introduction of dribbling. Early basketball did not permit dribbling. Players had to pass the ball to advance it down the court. However, as the sport evolved, the need for a more fluid and fast-paced game became apparent. Dribbling was formally introduced in 1897, allowing players to move with the ball and add a new dimension to the gameplay. This change allowed for more dynamic play and helped separate basketball from its predecessor games like soccer and rugby. The evolution of basketball also saw the introduction of key regulations that shaped the structure of the game. In 1936, basketball was officially included in the Olympics, which provided an international platform for the sport and helped increase its global visibility. The establishment of the National Basketball Association (NBA) in 1946 also played a pivotal role in professionalizing the sport and setting standards for gameplay and rules. The NBA's growth and success helped to popularize basketball not just in the United States, but across the world. Another innovation was the development of the three-point line, introduced by the American Basketball Association (ABA) in 1967. The three-point shot added a new strategic element to the game, as players could score from long distances, thereby changing offensive strategies and game dynamics. The NBA adopted the three-point line in 1979, further solidifying its role in modern basketball. The rules governing fouls and penalties have also undergone significant changes. Early basketball had relatively few rules regarding physical contact, but as the game grew in intensity and competitiveness, more detailed regulations were introduced. The introduction of personal fouls, technical fouls, and free throws helped manage player conduct and maintain the flow of the game. These rules have continued to evolve, reflecting the ongoing need to balance physicality with fair play. The early evolution of basketball was characterized by experimentation and adaptation. As the sport grew, the need for innovation became clear. The introduction of the backboard, dribbling, the three-point line, and detailed fouling regulations were key milestones in shaping the game. Each of these developments contributed to making basketball more exciting, strategic, and accessible. Understanding these early innovations provides valuable insight into how basketball transitioned from a simple indoor game to a structured, competitive sport. These changes laid the groundwork for the modern game and helped establish basketball as a global phenomenon. As we move forward in our exploration, we will continue to examine how these foundational innovations have influenced the game's development and its impact on players, fans, and the broader sports community. Standardization of rules. As basketball transitioned from a simple indoor activity to a widely played sport, the need for a standardized set of rules became increasingly apparent. The early days of basketball, characterized by Dr. James Naismith's initial game with minimal regulations, were marked by experimentation and adaptation. As the sport grew in popularity and complexity, formalizing the rules became crucial to managing the game's development and ensuring fair play. This process of standardization transformed basketball into a structured and competitive sport with clear guidelines. One of the first major steps in the standardization of basketball was the formalization of the rules. Dr. Naismith's original rules were simple, focusing on basic principles of play. However, as basketball spread beyond the YMCA and into colleges and universities, the need for a more comprehensive rule set became evident. In 1893, the National Basketball League, (NBL), was founded, which played a key role in formalizing the rules and regulations of the game. This early league helped establish some of the foundational elements of basketball as a competitive sport. A significant development in the standardization process was the introduction of the five-player team format. Initially, the game was played with 9 players on each side, a number that proved unwieldy and led to overcrowding on the court. The transition to 5 players per team, which occurred around the turn of the 20th century, allowed for a more dynamic and organized style of play. This change facilitated better teamwork, positioning, and strategy, and has remained a core element of basketball ever since. Another key innovation was the establishment of the shot clock. Introduced in the NBA in 1954, the shot clock was designed to prevent teams from stalling the game and encourage more offensive play. The original shot clock was set at 24 seconds, which required teams to attempt a shot within that time frame. This rule change dramatically increased the pace of the game and led to more exciting and fast-paced action on the court. The shot clock remains a crucial component of modern basketball, influencing game strategies and player performance. The introduction of the three-point line is another important milestone in the standardization of basketball rules. First implemented by the American Basketball Association, ABA, in 1967, the three-point line allowed players to score additional points for shots made from beyond a designated distance. The NBA adopted the three-point line in 1979, and it has since become a fundamental aspect of the game. The three-point shot has transformed offensive strategies, encouraging teams to develop long-range shooting skills and creating new tactical approaches to the game. Fouling regulations also underwent significant changes as basketball evolved. In the early days of the sport, physical contact was less regulated, leading to a more rough-and-tumble style of play. However, as the game became more competitive, it became necessary to introduce rules to manage player conduct and maintain fair play. The implementation of personal fouls, technical fouls, and free throws helped regulate physical contact and ensure that the game was played within established guidelines. These rules continue to evolve, reflecting changes in playing styles and the need to balance physicality with sportsmanship. The establishment of official governing bodies, such as the International Basketball Federation, (FIBA), also played a key role in standardizing rules on a global scale. FIBA, founded in 1932, provided a framework for international competitions and helped to harmonize the rules of basketball across different countries. This global standardization has facilitated the growth of international basketball and contributed to the sport's widespread popularity. The process of standardizing basketball rules was essential in shaping the sport into a well-regulated and competitive game. From the establishment of formal rules and team sizes to the introduction of innovations like the shot clock and three-point line, these changes have had a profound impact on how basketball is played and enjoyed. As the sport continues to evolve, the ongoing development and refinement of rules will play a crucial role in maintaining the balance between tradition and innovation, ensuring that basketball remains an exciting and dynamic game for players and fans alike. In the next sections, we will explore how the global spread of basketball further influenced the standardization of rules and the sport's development. This examination will provide insight into the ways in which basketball's international growth has shaped its evolution and contributed to its status as a global phenomenon. Basketball's growth in the United States. As basketball evolved from its inception in 1891, it began to gain significant traction across the United States. The sport's growth in the U.S. was marked by several key developments, including its adoption by colleges and universities, the formation of professional leagues, and the rise of major tournaments. These milestones were instrumental in solidifying basketball's place within American sports culture and establishing its popularity. One of the pivotal moments in basketball's growth was its introduction to colleges and universities. Within a few years of its invention, basketball was being played at various educational institutions across the country. The sport's appeal to college students was evident. Its fast pace, strategic depth, and minimal equipment requirements made it an attractive alternative to more traditional sports. The first intercollegiate basketball game was played between Yale and Rutgers in 1896, marking the beginning of organized college basketball. This game was a significant milestone as it showcased basketball's potential as a competitive sport and laid the foundation for collegiate leagues. The early 20th century saw the formation of several important basketball leagues, which played a crucial role in the sport's development. The establishment of the National Basketball League, (NBL), in 1937 was a significant step towards professionalizing the sport. The NBL helped to standardize rules and regulations, and its success demonstrated basketball's potential as a major spectator sport. The NBL eventually merged with the Basketball Association of America, (BAA), in 1949 to form the National Basketball Association, (NBA), which would go on to become the premier professional basketball league in the United States. The NBA's formation marked a turning point in the sport's history. The league's early years were characterized by growth and expansion as it attracted top players and developed a strong fan base. The NBA's popularity surged in the 1950s and 1960s, thanks in part to the emergence of star players like Bill Russell, Wilt Chamberlain, and Jerry West. Their exceptional skills and competitive spirit helped elevate the league's profile and attract national attention. In addition to the growth of professional basketball, major tournaments and competitions also played a significant role in the sport's development. The establishment of the NCAA men's basketball tournament, commonly known as March Madness, in 1939, provided a national stage for college teams to compete. The tournament's single-elimination format created excitement and suspense, and its annual broadcast attracted large audiences. March Madness became a cultural phenomenon, drawing attention to college basketball and highlighting the sport's talent at the collegiate level. The post-World War II era was marked by increased media coverage and commercialization, which further boosted basketball's popularity. Television broadcasts of NBA games brought the sport into homes across the country, allowing fans to follow their favorite teams and players more closely. The rise of sports marketing and endorsement deals also contributed to the sport's growth, as athletes became prominent public figures and basketball gained a larger share of the sport's entertainment market. In the 1980s and 1990s, basketball's growth continued to accelerate, driven by the emergence of global stars and the expansion of the NBA's international presence. Players like Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, and Michael Jordan became iconic figures, and their success helped to further popularize the sport both domestically and internationally. The NBA's introduction of international games and exhibitions allowed fans around the world to experience American basketball firsthand, contributing to the sport's global appeal. The development of basketball in the United States was characterized by a combination of grassroots enthusiasm, institutional support, and professional growth. From its early days in colleges and universities to the rise of professional leagues and major tournaments, basketball's journey in the U.S. was marked by innovation and expansion. The sport's growth not only solidified its place within American culture but also set the stage for its eventual emergence as a global phenomenon. In the next sections, we will explore how basketball's international expansion contributed to its global popularity and examine the cultural impact of the sport. This examination will provide insight into the ways in which basketball has transcended national boundaries and become a unifying force in the world of sports. The global expansion of basketball. Basketball's journey from a simple indoor game invented by Dr. James Naismith to a global phenomenon is a testament to its universal appeal and adaptability. While the sport initially thrived in the United States, its expansion beyond American borders was instrumental in shaping its international presence. The global growth of basketball has been marked by the establishment of international leagues, global competitions, and the rise of international players who have left a significant impact on the game. The first significant step in basketball's international expansion was the establishment of the International Basketball Federation, FIBA, in 1932. FIBA was founded with the goal of promoting and organizing basketball competitions on a global scale. The Federation played a crucial role in standardizing the rules of the game across different countries and facilitating international cooperation. FIBA's efforts laid the groundwork for the growth of basketball outside the United States and helped to create a framework for global competition. One of the key milestones in basketball's global expansion was its inclusion in the Olympic Games. Basketball made its Olympic debut at the 1936 Berlin Games, which marked a significant moment in the sport's history. The inclusion of basketball in the Olympics provided a prestigious platform for international teams to compete and showcase the sport to a global audience. The Olympic Games helped to increase the visibility of basketball and contributed to its growing popularity worldwide. The post-World War II era saw further expansion of basketball through the establishment of various international leagues and competitions. The creation of the European Cup, now known as the EuroLeague, in 1958 marked the beginning of organized club basketball competition in Europe. The EuroLeague quickly became one of the most prestigious basketball tournaments outside the NBA, attracting top teams and players from across Europe. The success of the EuroLeague demonstrated the growing interest in basketball beyond the United States and helped to further establish the sport's international presence. In addition to club competitions, international tournaments such as the FIBA World Cup and the FIBA Asia Cup played a crucial role in promoting basketball globally. The FIBA World Cup, first held in 1950, provided a platform for national teams to compete on the world stage. The tournament's success helped to solidify basketball's status as a global sport and encouraged the development of national teams around the world. Similarly, regional tournaments like the FIBA Asia Cup helped to foster the growth of basketball in specific regions and contributed to the sport's overall expansion. The rise of international players in the NBA has been another significant factor in basketball's global growth. The NBA's increasing focus on scouting and recruiting international talent has brought attention to players from around the world and showcased their skills on a global stage. Icons such as Dirk Nowitzki, Yao Ming, and Giannis Antetokounmpo have become household names and have contributed to the sport's international appeal. Their success in the NBA has inspired aspiring basketball players around the world and has helped to promote the sport in their home countries. The globalization of basketball has also been facilitated by the advent of digital media and the internet. The widespread availability of online streaming and social media has made it easier for fans to follow international basketball leagues and competitions. The increased accessibility of global basketball content has allowed fans from different countries to engage with the sport and has helped to build a global basketball community. The impact of basketball's global expansion is evident in the increasing number of international teams and players competing at the highest levels of the sport. The NBA's international fan base continues to grow, and basketball's presence in major sporting events and media outlets reflects its widespread popularity. The sport's ability to transcend cultural and geographical boundaries has made it a unifying force and has contributed to its status as a global phenomenon. In the following sections, we will explore the cultural impact of basketball and how the sport has influenced and been influenced by different cultures around the world. This examination will provide a deeper understanding of the ways in which basketball has become a part of global culture and has contributed to the sport's ongoing evolution and success. The cultural impact of basketball. Basketball's rise from a humble indoor game to a global phenomenon is not only a story of athletic achievement, but also one of significant cultural influence. The sport has permeated various aspects of popular culture, fashion, entertainment, and social movements, shaping and reflecting societal values across the world. This cultural impact has contributed to basketball's enduring popularity and its role as a unifying force in global sports culture. One of the most evident ways basketball has influenced popular culture is through its presence in entertainment and media. The sport has been featured prominently in movies, television shows, and documentaries, capturing the imagination of audiences around the world. Films like Hoosiers and Space Jam have celebrated the excitement of basketball and its influence on American culture. Space Jam, in particular, featuring NBA superstar Michael Jordan alongside iconic cartoon characters, bridged the worlds of sports and animation, further embedding basketball into popular culture. Television broadcasts of NBA games have also played a significant role in shaping basketball's cultural impact. The NBA's weekly broadcasts, especially those on networks like ESPN and TNT, have become major events that attract millions of viewers. The coverage of high-profile games, playoffs, and championships has turned basketball into a central topic of conversation in households around the world. The sport's visibility on television has helped to build a global fan base and foster a sense of connection among fans. Fashion and lifestyle have also been deeply influenced by basketball. The sport's association with athletic wear has led to the creation of iconic fashion trends. Brands like Nike and Adidas have leveraged basketball's popularity to market their products, resulting in a blend of sportswear and street fashion. The popularity of basketball sneakers, such as Michael Jordan's Air Jordans, has become a cultural phenomenon in its own right, with fans and collectors eagerly anticipating new releases and celebrating the legacy of these signature shoes. Basketball players themselves have become cultural icons and role models, influencing various aspects of society. Athletes like Michael Jordan, LeBron James, and Kobe Bryant have transcended the sport, becoming symbols of excellence and success. Their impact extends beyond the court as they engage in philanthropy, business ventures, and social activism. For instance, LeBron James's initiatives, such as the I Promise School, demonstrate the influence of basketball players in addressing social issues and contributing to their communities. Basketball has also been a powerful platform for social and political expression. The sport has provided a stage for athletes to address social justice issues and advocate for change. The Black Lives Matter movement, for example, has seen significant support from basketball players and teams, with athletes using their platform to raise awareness and drive conversations about racial inequality. Protests and demonstrations during the national anthem have sparked important dialogues about social justice and the role of sports in addressing societal issues. In addition to its impact on popular culture and social movements, basketball has played a role in fostering community and unity. The sport's accessibility and inclusivity make it a popular choice for recreational play across different demographics. Local basketball leagues and pickup games bring people together, providing a sense of camaraderie and shared experience. Community events and outreach programs organized by basketball teams and players further strengthen the sport's connection to local communities. Basketball's influence is also evident in its ability to bridge cultural divides. The sport's global reach has facilitated cultural exchange and understanding as players from diverse backgrounds come together to compete and collaborate. International tournaments, such as the FIBA World Cup and the Olympics, showcase the sport's ability to unite people from different countries and cultures, promoting a sense of global solidarity through a shared love of the game. The cultural impact of basketball is a testament to the sport's significance beyond the realm of athletics. Its presence in entertainment, fashion, social activism, and community life reflects its role as a powerful cultural force. Basketball's ability to inspire, connect, and influence people around the world has contributed to its status as a global phenomenon and underscores its enduring legacy in contemporary culture. In the final sections, we will explore the future of basketball and the ongoing evolution of the sport. This examination will offer insights into how basketball continues to adapt and grow, ensuring its relevance and impact for generations to come. The future of basketball. As basketball continues to evolve, its future is shaped by a combination of technological advancements, changes in global dynamics, and evolving player and fan expectations. The sport is poised to adapt to new trends and challenges, ensuring its continued growth and relevance in the coming decades. This section explores the key factors influencing the future of basketball and how they might impact the game on various levels. Technological innovations. One of the most significant factors influencing the future of basketball is the advancement of technology. Innovations in areas such as data analytics, sports science, and broadcasting are transforming how the game is played, analyzed, and experienced by fans. Data analytics have become a crucial aspect of basketball, providing teams with detailed insights into player performance, game strategies, and opponent tendencies. Advanced metrics and statistical analysis enable coaches and players to make more informed decisions, optimize training regimens, and develop effective game plans. The use of tracking technology, such as player movement sensors and video analysis, allows for real-time assessments and adjustments, enhancing the strategic depth of the game. Sports science is also playing a significant role in the future of basketball. Advances in biomechanics, nutrition, and injury prevention are helping players maximize their performance and extend their careers. Innovations in recovery techniques and conditioning programs contribute to player health and longevity, ensuring that athletes can maintain peak performance throughout their careers. Broadcasting technology continues to evolve, offering fans new ways to engage with the sport. High-definition and 4K broadcasts, virtual reality, VR, and augmented reality, AR, are enhancing the viewing experience, providing immersive and interactive content. VR and AR technologies offer fans virtual courtside seats and interactive features, bringing them closer to the action and creating new opportunities for fan engagement. Global expansion. Basketball's global reach is set to expand further, driven by the sport's growing popularity in regions outside the United States. International leagues, tournaments, and competitions are contributing to the sport's development on a global scale. The growth of basketball in regions such as Asia, Africa, and Latin America is particularly notable. Countries like China and the Philippines have seen significant increases in basketball participation and viewership. The success of international players in leagues like the NBA has also contributed to the sport's global appeal. Efforts by organizations such as FIBA to promote grassroots basketball and develop infrastructure in emerging markets are expected to foster further growth. The NBA's international initiatives, such as hosting games and events abroad, play a crucial role in expanding the sport's global presence. These initiatives not only increase the league's international fan base, but also provide opportunities for local players to showcase their talent on a global stage. The continued expansion of basketball's footprint around the world will likely lead to more competitive international tournaments and a more diverse pool of talent. Evolving player and fan expectations. The expectations of players and fans are evolving, influencing the direction of the sport. Players are increasingly seeking more control over their careers and personal brands, leading to changes in how contracts, endorsements, and team dynamics are managed. The rise of player empowerment and activism is shaping the landscape of professional basketball as athletes use their platforms to advocate for social causes and drive change. Fans are also demanding more personalized and engaging experiences. The rise of digital media and social platforms has transformed how fans interact with the sport, creating opportunities for direct communication with players and teams. Social media, Streaming services and interactive content allow fans to connect with basketball in new ways, influencing how the sport is marketed and consumed. The impact of youth development. Youth basketball programs are crucial to the sport's future. The development of young talent and the emphasis on grassroots participation contribute to the growth and sustainability of basketball. Investment in youth programs, training facilities, and coaching education helps nurture the next generation of players and ensures a continuous pipeline of talent. The increasing focus on inclusivity and diversity in youth programs is also shaping the future of basketball. Efforts to make the sport accessible to underrepresented communities and promote gender equality contribute to a more inclusive and diverse basketball landscape. Conclusion. The future of basketball is bright, with technological advancements, global expansion, evolving player and fan expectations, and youth development shaping the sport's trajectory. As basketball continues to adapt and grow, it will remain a dynamic and influential force in the world of sports, captivating audiences and inspiring future generations. The ongoing evolution of the game ensures that basketball will continue to thrive, reflecting the changing landscape of sports and society. Reflections and legacy. As we conclude our exploration of basketball's journey from a modest invention to a global phenomenon, it's important to reflect on the sport's legacy and its lasting impact on society and culture. Basketball's evolution over the past century and more is not just a story of athletic achievement, but also a narrative of innovation, cultural influence, and unifying power. Understanding the legacy of basketball provides insight into its significance and enduring appeal. Innovation and adaptation. Basketball's legacy is deeply rooted in its spirit of innovation and adaptation. From Dr. James Naismith's original game with peach baskets to the modern NBA, the sport has continuously evolved to meet the changing needs of players and fans. The introduction of key innovations, such as the shot clock, three-point line, and advanced analytics, has shaped the game's dynamics and kept it relevant in an ever-changing sports landscape. The sport's adaptability extends beyond rule changes and technological advancements. Basketball's ability to integrate new playing styles, strategies, and player skills has ensured its continued excitement and unpredictability. This willingness to evolve and embrace change is a fundamental aspect of basketball's success and longevity. Cultural impact and influence. Basketball's influence on popular culture is profound and far-reaching. The sport has become a significant part of global entertainment, fashion, and media. Iconic moments, such as Michael Jordan's game-winning shots and LeBron James's social activism, have left an indelible mark on cultural history. Basketball has also played a role in shaping societal values and addressing social issues. The sport has provided a platform for athletes to speak out on matters of social justice, equality, and community empowerment. The impact of basketball on social movements, such as the Black Lives Matter movement, highlights its ability to be a force for positive change and advocacy. Global unification and diplomacy. One of basketball's most remarkable legacies is its role in global unification and diplomacy. The sport's ability to bridge cultural and geographical divides is a testament to its universal appeal. International tournaments, such as the Olympics and FIBA World Cup, have showcased the sport's capacity to bring together nations and foster a sense of global camaraderie. Basketball's global reach has facilitated cultural exchange and mutual understanding. Players from diverse backgrounds and countries have competed and collaborated, contributing to a shared appreciation for the sport. The establishment of international leagues and the growing presence of global players in the NBA further exemplify basketball's role in promoting international unity and cooperation. Inspiration and aspirations. The legacy of basketball is also reflected in its capacity to inspire and motivate individuals. The sport has provided countless opportunities for players, both amateur and professional, to pursue their dreams and achieve greatness. The stories of perseverance, dedication, and success associated with basketball serve as powerful examples for aspiring athletes and fans alike. Youth programs and community initiatives inspired by basketball contribute to the sport's legacy by nurturing future generations of players and fostering a love for the game. These programs emphasize the values of teamwork, discipline, and hard work, reinforcing the sport's positive impact on personal development and character. Preservation and future directions. As we look to the future, preserving basketball's rich history and legacy is essential. Celebrating historical milestones, honoring influential figures, and maintaining a commitment to the sport's core values ensure that basketball's legacy continues to resonate with new generations. The future of basketball will be shaped by ongoing efforts to innovate, engage fans, and address emerging challenges. By embracing technological advancements, expanding global outreach, and promoting inclusivity, basketball can continue to thrive and inspire. Conclusion. The legacy of basketball is a testament to the sport's enduring significance and impact. Its journey from a simple indoor game to a global phenomenon reflects a story of innovation, cultural influence, and unity. As we reflect on basketball's past and look to its future, it is clear that the sport will remain a powerful force in shaping society and culture. Basketball's legacy endures through its ability to inspire, connect, and entertain, ensuring that the sport will continue to captivate and inspire generations to come.